Welcome back. It's Mark with Redo Over. Just thought I'd sit down and get in a half hour of Master of Orion. It's a weeknight, work night, so just thought I'd kill a little time here. Had a good dinner already, so we left off. Pirate fleet detected. Okay, heading off to Nolan space. Interesting thing is, I wonder if the Nolams here in their little sector are blocked off from expansion. I was just noticing this. If I zoom out, you can see here that from Saud, they have Nimbus and they have Null, which I assume is their home system. Now, Null may connect to another star over here, but there's no guarantee. Like, Null really is off by itself, like out here on the edge. Like, you can see every system is already identified for us as a bright star, but Null is really far away. You know what? If I zoom into Sod, you can see this line, and this line here are all red. They will not be able to expand out of there for some time yet. They have to get a special trans whatever kind of field to be able to travel those. Now, they could come back towards us, towards Niu Prime, but we're sending in a space fac right now to Space Factory to build a military outpost, which will block them from coming this way unless they use overwhelming force. So I could theoretically open negotiations with the Nolam League. They like to trade, and I think they're pretty diplomatic, and we're humans, so we could do that. Or we could try and conquer them. Because if they can't get out this way, then they're trapped with just their home planet and this one little planet, Nimbus Prime. And we would definitely overcome them in that way. Yeah, given time. Okay, just an idea. So let's just continue on here. Fleet needs orders. Aha, that's right. Here's our destroyer, captained by one of our leaders. And we're just going to attack the space pirate outpost, or drop bombs. They survived the bombardment again. Okay. It is kind of tough with the destroyer because we only are sporting one bomb, but you can load up your larger ships, your cruisers, your battleships with 4 bombs, 8 bombs, whatever you need to. You can take that stuff out pretty easily, but we'll get them done. Next turn. All right. I actually feel bad for the Nolams. These space pirates keep raiding them. Fleet needs orders. We're just back to the frigate. It automatically selected it. We're going to drop bombs again. Aha! Human bombardment has decimated the space pirate.
Your crew descends to investigate the remains of the pirate enclave. The destruction is near total, but a constant thumping can be heard under a pile of rubble. Further investigation reveals an underground dungeon where the pirates kept an astounding number of slaves. You rescue them and offer them asylum in your closest habitable colony.
So, part of the reasons why pirates are so great in this game is when you take out their bases, you can get a BC, like their treasure hoard. You can find a ship occasionally, I think, and you can rescue an entire population, which is the best thing. We just got another population unit in Niu. So, and the pirate base is destroyed. So at this point, we're going to send our frigate off to the next pirate base here, Matar 2. So that guy's on its way, but let's go to Niu, and sure enough, I now have a rescued population, which is a huge benefit to us. Now, we don't necessarily need him doing research. We could, he can't produce food. So this is an interesting thing I probably haven't pointed out yet. You notice, let's move this guy down to production here real quick, all right? And then we'll leave. Since Niu's building up, we want production more than research. But let's go back to our home planet of Sol Prime. So up at the top, we have 3 researchers, but you see there's other research slots we could fill in. Each one of them would produce 3 research, and you see there's a 3, 3, 3, 3. Well, that's because research is kind of linear, right? However, agriculture and even mineral production, or production in general, are reliant on optimal parts of the planet. So for instance, the most fertile areas of Sol Prime can produce 4 units of food when farmed. The 3 next areas of the planet's surface are suboptimal, so you can produce 3. And then there's an additional one location that's obviously very marginal land, arable land, and it'll only produce 2. So if we were to dump all of our population into food production, we would get diminishing returns. So it's an important idea to try and strike a balance between research, food production, and production, or mining, we'll say, mineral production, harvesting. You notice here the mineral content drops off rapidly. We have a 2, and then a bunch of 1s. So you'll see a rapid decrease there. And part of that's because our mineral quality on our planet got reduced, if you recall. We used to be normal or abundant, whatever. I don't know what its term is. Now we're down to poor. We got downgraded from 3 to 2. So production's really slowed down on the planet because of that. But in general, you don't want to overload everything. You would always want to fill in your best spots, your best farming, your best mineral possible. And actually, if we go to our Niu, which is a volcanic world, which is ultra rich, super abundant, you notice that it's a 4, 4, and a 3 on those mineral harvesting areas. So yeah, that's looking good though. So Niu's population grew, which we knew it did. And let's just hit next turn. I'm watching our BC there is climbing up. It'll be over 1,000.
I come to you with the most splendid proposition.
Okay, so this is essentially the alien negotiation part. He's offering, this is the trade table right here in the middle. So essentially the Nolan League is going to offer what's here, and in this case, accept a human embassy. And on this side, us, you, the humans, we will accept the Nolan embassy. So we're each giving one thing. Now sometimes you'll get an open-ended trade where they offer you something without asking for anything in return, or they demand something without offering anything in return. It's very powerful. So theoretically, I could come in here and choose one of these other things like, okay, I'll do this if you give me some other thing. Give me some extra credits or share your charts. But because this is our initial meeting, we have no embassy, we have no official means open to communicate with each other. I can't modify this in any way. I can accept or decline. So one problem with opening up trade embassies is you open yourself up to spies. You're essentially saying this foreign entity is going to come into our occupied space, our colonies, but the people could theoretically get into your computer system or read files, take photos of your factories. They can spy on you. Vice versa, we can spy on them. So we're working on our spy center right now. We'd invented the technology, and I think Sol Prime is currently building one. It'll be done in a few turns. Then we can train spies. We can spy on the Nolan League. So that might work out pretty good. But yeah, since we're humans and our main strengths happen to do with diplomacy and trade, we definitely want this. And as we meet other alien species, we'll be able to open negotiations. So we'll say accept.
Yeah, I'm glad we can see eye to eye.
All right. And up here at the top is the disposition chart. Right now, their attitude towards us is relaxed. And you can see there we're nudging just beyond the middle point. We're moving up towards the green, which is going to be better. You opened an embassy on their territory recently. Yeah, that's what's going on. So let's say goodbye. So they're relaxed because we've recently had a positive negotiation. They could feel fearful, hostile, uneasy, different things like that. Back down here. Oh. Come on, Galaxy. All right. So frigates on the way. We got a couple things going on over here. We just built something. Next in the queue is a starbase. Sure, we'll let them continue on the starbase. By building starbases, it not only helps defend individual colonies in the event that spaceships attack from an alien species. They're pretty formidable, the starbases. But also up here, we could get more command points. You get 5 command points for each starbase. And that allows you to build bigger and bigger fleets. More logistics, essentially. So that's cool. And then down here, automated factory completed at NIU 2. Perfect. Let's go there. We didn't have anything else in the queue, so it's important for us to do this. And let's see what we can work on. Okay. Quite a few good things. Now notice that our other colony we were just looking at, they just started a star base. It's going to take them 24 turns. Here on NIU 2, it'll only take 12 turns. That's how massively productive this little planet is. But we probably want to get a couple other little things going before we do that. Biospheres. This will produce 1 food and 1 research for a maintenance cost of only 1. That's a really good deal. We're getting 2 resources for 1 galactic credit, 1 BC per turn. So it's like a great deal. So let's build that next. Research lab, that's 2 research for 2 maintenance. That's an even deal, 1 to 1. So that's a good deal. We'll do that. And then Colonial Revenue Service. Usually the revenue generating things don't have any BC cost to them, like the IRS will say, but it will generate 1 BC per population. Now NIU 2 is a very small planet. It can only ever support up to 3 people, but over time that would pay itself back. So we will add that onto the queue as well. So those will be the 3 things in the queue. That'll be enough for now. We'll hit done. Fleet needs orders. Aha. Okay, so here's our space factory and a frigate helping to defend. I'm going to tell the space factory to build. I can do a surveillance system, which deploys a nest of surveillance systems in a warp point capable of monitoring any activity from afar. So this has a really good range of sensing enemies coming in. But more important than that, I would just put a military outpost there. This thing acts as a wall. No enemy ships can get through without destroying the military outpost first. Now, it does cost 1 of our command points, so it's like having a ship out there, obviously, but it's relatively cheap, 1. And any ships that are docked there will repair it 5% per turn. So if we have a damaged battleship or frigate or something, we can dock it next to this. They can defend together, and it'll repair the ships over time. So, let's do it. Let's build that military outpost. So in 10 turns, we'll have a military outpost done. In the meantime, the frigate is going to guard there as well to help defend that space factory and that nascent military outpost that hasn't been completed yet. Other than that, yeah, this guy should start moving soon. Next turn. Let's see here. There we go. There we go. It's on its way. We're going to go destroy another pirate outpost.
To GNN, Galactic News Network.
The Volrathi Empire has grown in strength.
Yeah, that's a big deal. The Volrathi are a race we haven't discovered yet, but the Galactic News Network knows about them, so we hear through the grapevine, essentially, that they're out there. They control 5 systems. We control 3 systems right now, so they're way ahead of us. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. And we got new research. Awesome.
Just a minute of your time, President.
So this is where we have to choose one or the other. Deep Scanner. Updated Deep Scanner technology allows the ship to reveal all planets when arriving in an unknown system. That's awesome, except we're already done exploring for the most part. We kind of know our area of the galaxy, and knowing everything else that's out there wouldn't hurt, but it's not going to help us as much as having an electronic computer. That's right, kids. A PC for your spaceships. Essentially, this is going to give a 25% accuracy bonus to all of our energy weapons. Over time, there's improvements that'll go 50%, 75%, 100%. So if you come up against an enemy that has good defensive capabilities on their ship, you're not going to be able to hit them unless you improve. So this is a straight up offensive weapon, ultimately, augmentation. So we're going to select it. And we also got
have made a new discovery.
And we also got the laser cannon modification. So this allows you to do some extra special stuff with the lasers you already have. You can auto fire, heavy mount, enveloping. Yeah, so update your blueprints. We're going to upgrade all of our blueprints for the frigates and destroyers we make. So now they have the electronic computer on board. And what do we get here? Laser cannon still normal. Let's check the destroyer. I bet it got a heavy mount on one of these. no, point defense on 3 laser cannons, 1 nuclear bomb, that's for bombing pirate bases and planets, and 4 neutron blasters. I guess the neutron blasters are just better than lasers, even a heavy mount probably. So we'll hit done.
Our scientists are eager to start.
All right.
What should we focus on?
So we're still working on a couple of these lower tier research items here. So let's see. Displacement device, proton torpedo, death spore, fungal farms. Neither one of the, atmospheric renewal. Let's do this. Let's get those Merculite missiles and missile miniaturization level 1. This allows your missiles to take up less space, and the cost goes down as well. So you can miniaturize your nukes with these. So we're going to select that and hit done. So we'll have that one in 5 turns. That's going pretty quick now. All right. Next turn.
GNN, Galactic News
Here we go.
Network.
And Terran.
Confusion sweeps across the galaxy as reports of Antaran sightings have now been confirmed by independent survivors.
It seems that the vicious and ill-tempered old race has managed to escape from their ancestral prison in an unknown pocket dimension and are expected to continue to terrorize the galaxy in the foreseeable future.
We'll update this information as hostilities escalate from these initial skirmishes to what we can only assume will be an all-out invasion resulting in the extinction of all other sentient life in the galaxy.
Stay tuned for more news!
All right. So the Antarans are an ancient species that the Orion, which were some great ancient, good guy species, I guess, that presumably seeded the galaxy with all these other races, the humans and the Nolams and the Bulrathi. They imprisoned them in a pocket dimension. They didn't want to destroy them outright for moral reasons or whatever. The Antarans are breaking out of their pocket dimension now, all these millennia later, and they start sending very powerful small frigates and eventually destroyers and cruisers and battleships, and they will raid colonies, trying to reduce them to rubble. You can try and fight against them. You can just get out of their way. You don't get a whole lot for defeating them that I've been able to find out. But eventually, if we research the right technologies, we can go into their pocket dimension, take the fight to them, and wipe them out. So that's one of the ways to win the game, actually, is to defeat the Antarans. So we'll see what happens. We might try it. So that being said, let's just check on a couple other things here. Let's just look at our empire. I'm looking at pollution, this red number, 0, 0, 0, 0, 250, 0, 300. So none of our colonies are getting polluted. That's important. I can see population happiness. Now, our main Sol Prime, which is our capital, has a population morale of 95%. That means out of 20 population we might have on that planet, 19 would be happy and only 1 would be unhappy. So that's really good. However, our other colonies are sitting at 65%. That means right now we have 2 population on each. So 50% and the extra 15 morale above 50 covers the next guy. However, when we go to 3 population, that's going to take us to 33%, 33%. That's to 66. But that final 3rd population is going to fall outside of that 65% morale range and will become a disgruntled or unhappy population that won't work. So there's some buildings we're going to have to do to help satisfy people, like social network kind of buildings. But we'll get to that here. I can see our spy center will be done in 2 turns. We're going to want that pretty quick because I'm sure the Nolams will be spying on us any moment here. We got research. Let's look at diplomacy tab now. So here's us. This is our human president. He's a white guy. Surprise! Let's jump over to the Nolams. Leader is Trant. That's his name. Null Prime is the capital planet. Diplomatic status neutral. We're neutral. They have 1 known colony. They have 1 known fleet. I don't know. I don't know if that means ships in the fleet. I think it just means individual fleet, and there could be many ships within it. Treaty right now is simply accepted the human embassy. That's our only treaty with them. Racial traits include they're from a low gravity homeworld. They gain extra BC from their population. Credits for population is up 50%. They're lucky, meaning they're less likely to have bad things happen to them or Anterans attack them. That's a nice trait. We don't have that. And fantastic traders. They get big bonuses from doing trade treaties and making trade goods. So, but yeah, and then here's like a little diagram. This is the Nolan League. Here's us. And we don't know what the relationship with these other worlds are. They have 14 total population that we know of, 11 troops. This would be like Space Marines. And this is the credits they have available for their empire right now. So we're actually pretty rich. We have over 1100 BC. These guys are running a little poor. So that's it. We could request an audience. Let's try that. What the heck?
Every day is an opportunity, my friend.
All right. These guys love to trade. So I know that trade treaties and research treaties would be really good for us. So let's go to negotiations.
Oh, yes. By all means.
Okay. So you do need a certain amount of credits to go into a trade treaty or a research treaty. Oh, hello. Face went away. Face went away. I'm so sorry if you're still there, anyone. Where the heck did my face go? Okay, we're gonna do it without my face. It's cool. So we want to propose a trade treaty between the both of us here. So it'll last for 20 turns, and essentially it's saying a long-term commercial agreement with a per turn yield of 86 credits for both parties. And this is obviously really good for both of us because we both get those 25% bonuses due to us being good traders. So I'm going to propose it. Now, I could try and sweeten the deal if I thought he wouldn't accept it. I could throw more BC on there. But for now, I think we'll try that.
A fine bargain.
Okay. Sweet. It's done. He accepted. I also could have, if I go back into negotiations...
Yes. By all means.
So by the way, if you talk to them too much, too often, they could get annoyed with you. So you got to be careful not to try and propose too much at once. But if I were to say ask for a non-aggression pact, but I wasn't sure they would take it, I could ask this question in here: what would make this work? And it would actually pop up. It's like the AI goes in and says, why don't you offer this extra thing, and they might accept. That way you're not trying to struggle to figure out how to negotiate things. By the way, because we did do our, I'm going to hit back, we finished our trade treaty. They've now moved into this yellow-green area with us because we signed a trade treaty with them, and they're now calm towards us. So their disposition towards us is getting better and better. We'll say goodbye.
Fare thee well, my friend.
The Nolan really like to trade and negotiate, so they're always happy to talk to us. All right. Next turn then. Oh, wait, let's check a couple of things. Espionage tab. Aha, we still haven't finished the Spy Center. And finally, Leaders tab. Yeah, here's our two leaders. They are gaining experience bit by bit, so that's awesome. Maja there is killing pirates, so that's good for her. Let's hit next turn. I see Maja's closing in Matar 2. And I see another pirate fleet detected. Where? Oh, okay, that's the one heading towards Nolan territory. I don't really care. We'll just hit next turn. The Spy Center's ready. Okay. That's weird. I'm surprised she's not saying anything. Let me just check the options real quick. I want to make sure the audio for voice is on. Voices, yeah, that's on all the way. Interesting. I don't know what you guys can, how well it's recording on your end, but hopefully something. Seems a little quiet, but done. Okay, and back to game here. So, at this point, the Spy Center is ready, but first let's have our destroyer attack that pirate base. Drop all. Yeah, human bombardment has decimated the space pirate.
Your crew
Yes! Oh my
investigate
gosh,
the
that's so
remains of
good.
the pirate enclave. The
That's-
destruction is near total.
Yeah, done.
But
That's crazy luck. We got a population unit out of both of those. That is random. So Nayu has now jumped to maximum population. Even though they were barely making food, like they didn't have any farming capabilities, just by freeing prisoners, we maxed them out. Now, this illustrates very clearly, though, that because our morale is only 65%, we can only make 2 of our 3 people happy. Only 66% can be made happy. So something that would help with that, because we don't want this guy producing nothing. Let's go back into our build queue and let's get the government support facility. The presence of accessible government services boosts morale in the colony. This will give us an extra 10% here. It will cost us 1 BC per turn. We're going to start building it, or we're going to add it to the queue. Now, our biosphere will be done in 1 turn. I want to bump this government support facility up, though, so that we can get that built in 4 turns and get this guy working, and it'll help everything else go faster. So we'll hit done. Nayu has reached its population limit, so you do know when you've had a planet max out, you could cut down on your farming, theoretically, and move those people into research or production. So that's good. And then Spy Center completed. Yes. Okay, so let's just jump into Sol Prime. Spy Center here on the surface of the planet, this little thing right here. You could view it by going to Manage Structures, Spy Center. Boom. There you go. So system security, meaning the Sol system gets a 20% bonus. You can only have, it's Empire unique, meaning you can only have 1 Spy Center in your entire empire. It does cost 2 BC per turn to maintain, but we'll hit done. We'll hit done. And yeah, we're going to Biosphere next. That's good. So they're doing great here on Sol. But let's go up to our Espionage tab, the I. So we have no agents recruited. Alpha, codename Alpha, is essentially available to recruit, but we have to train him. So it'd be like hiring someone to join the CIA out of college, but they're not ready to be CIA agents. So we're going to, for 25 BC, start the training. It will take 8 turns. So there you go. Alpha is now a human in training, 8 turns away. Bravo is another recruit we have our eye on, but we can't start training Bravo until Alpha's training is done. We can have many, many, many spies. You can have dozens of spies. Granted, you have to pay a salary each turn to each one, and as they level up, it gets more expensive. So how many spies you can manage to fund is kind of limited by your BC. That's why I love BC so much. Is it'll let you have big fleets, and it lets you pay for spies and other great stuff. And leaders take BC. So let's hit done. Let's jump back to the leaders tab real quick, just to point out here that Ula Agneta cost her salary is 2 BC per turn. And Maja is right now 6 BC per turn. And as these leaders level up, those salaries will go up as well. So, but yeah, that looks pretty good for now. Gee, our destroyer has done its mission. I wonder where we should send our destroyer off to. Let's head it back towards a more centralized location. I don't need it in Sol Prime, but I'd like it more centralized to our 3 colonies, just for potential defense. So I'm just going to route it back that way, and we'll call that done. Oh, actually, let's do one more thing. Nayu Prime. This is where this little population is. Let's make this investment early on in the game here. We're still at about 74 turns into the game. I can see that right here. But if we make this investment for 800 more BC right now, this world is now maxed out. It will pay us back 15 credits every turn for every colony we have in this system. We only have 1, but this is going to give us 15 BC every single turn from now on. It'll take a while to pay back that 800 we put in, but eventually it will get there, and it'll be well worth it in the end. So now we'll hit next turn. That was a big chunk of BC we just dumped there. Sol Prime has grown. Let's jump in there and take a look. Aha. It looks like they're still continuing to push out farming, which is fine. Because our research is going at a pretty good clip right now. So that's good. Our total population is 11, but the planet can support up to 13. So we'll let that population grow until it hits 13, and then we can pull some some farmers off the farming line, put them to work on other things. And finally, Biospheres completed at NIU 2, Government Support Facility, next in queue. We'll just let that ride. We'll hit next turn. So I see our destroyers moving, and we did get a new research here, molecular manipulation.
Our scientists have made a new discovery.
All right, we got missile miniaturization level 1, Merculite missile, which is essentially a more powerful nuclear missile, and an atmospheric renewer, which would allow us to clean up to 5 pollution if we were creating any. I usually don't run my colonies to pollute. The main reason is just to make this most basic atmospheric renewer. It has a 2 maintenance BC per turn, and there's a variety of pollution cleaning buildings, structures that we can do. Well, you don't want to be dumping out 10, 12, 15 BC just trying to mitigate pollution. It's not worth it. So I like to keep my production below a certain level. But let's upgrade blueprints. This will miniaturize those missiles, I'm thinking. Or upgrade to Merculite. So we'll hit upgrade all, and that's done. And yeah, here is the Merculite missile on the frigate. And the destroyer is not sporting a missile because they have the bomb in there. I don't like that. Let's edit this destroyer design real quick. So we're going to click on the Neutron Blaster. Or actually, we have to hit edit. Sorry. Okay, here we go. So real quickly, we could rename it. We don't have to call it a destroyer. If there's other historical ship names, you could put it in there. It's not the name of the actual ship. It's not like the HMS Bounty or something. It's just the class of ship. But you could give it a different class name. The hull is a destroyer already, but there's different models. So this is the base destroyer, and there's the alternate destroyer. So each race has usually 2 designs. But I like this one. That's just way more aggressive. Very cool looking. Theme. This is just a bit of color theming you can do. Have a little fun with it. Oh, that looks badass. Like a little tiger stripe. Let's do that. Roll. You could do sniper, meaning in combat the ship will stay at long range and not try and close. Blitzer. That means the ship rushes in as quick as it can. Brawler means that it closes in and tries to go toe-to-toe and doesn't try and run and get out of there. And those are your 3 categories. We'll leave none, though. We're going to give it no specific role. However, let's go to the Neutron Blasters. We have 4 of them right now. Let's take this down a tick. And I'm looking here. A Merculite missile takes up 10 spaces. And there we go. So if I just do 3 Neutron Blasters, my total space right now is 97.28 out of 110. Well, that gives me the 10 I know I'll need for my Merculite missiles. I'm going to hit add. And all that meant was I went from 4 guns to 3 guns. When I hit add, it just means I made the change. Now, I have one more slot. I can add a 4th weapon type. And here I go. I click my missile, and I hit add. And now you can see here my hull capacity is nearly maxed out. I might be able to squeeze in one more point defense laser cannon. These are laser cannons with the point defense. That means these weapons, you could use point defense weapons on an enemy ship, but actually point defense usually will reserve those gun shots, those beam weapon shots for incoming missiles, torpedoes, or fighters. So because a lot of the battle is automated in this game, it just makes it a lot easier if you're saying, hey, if you're point defense, you're reserved for taking out small incoming ordnance from the enemy. But right now I have 3 point defense lasers. Let's see if I can squeeze one more on. I can. Look at that. At 2.2, I got one more point defense. I'm going to hit add. So we gained a point defense weapon, we lost a neutron blaster, and we gained a Merculite missile. Man, I'm struggling to say that. And we're going to hit save. And done.
Our scientists are eager to start. What should we focus on?
And we'll choose the final biotechnology here. Fungal farms, and this is, I think, the death spore. I don't know why it cuts off the top. I can't see it either. That's not just you watching. I can't see what the name of the thing is, but it's a death spore. We'll select it.
Fantastic.
And hit done. All right. I think that's good for now. If you watched, I really appreciate it. And this is Mark with Redo Over, so take care.